looking car I'd ever seen in my life.
On those 70 series tires, and guys used to back in the day when I had a 69 Olds 442 convertible. And if you didn't have the posi rear end, you had the one tire fryer. You know, so you do the burnout, and you got like one stripe going about 400 feet down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those old cars suck to drive, though. Oh, my God. If you drive the old ones that don't have Resto Mod components, like Roadster Shop components, they're just terrible.
Yeah.
They're so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, so my wife, for my 60th last year, my 60th birthday, she and the kids bought me a nice 69 Olds 442. So it's nice enough to where I'll drive it, but not so nice that I don't want to drive it.
Right.
And I just, man, when I drive that thing, it's the slowest, least powerful thing in the fleet. But it just kind of brings me back. I got this jam box I put in the backseat, the turtle box, and I just turn on my AC/DC and go out cruising around, and
you don't even bother
without
installing
a care
a stereo
in the world.
in
And,
it.
if it dies at the stop sign, or if it, we'll probably put an LT4, an LSA in it. We'll LS swap it at some point. But
yeah. Do you think you'll do something to the chassis?
it would probably need that, but I like a scary ride. That kind of it entertains me, So maybe to some degree, we do want to have a balanced, safe car, but the old saying, Bob Lutz, who used to be the president of Chrysler back in the day when I first met him, he was working for BMW in Germany. He had a pretty fast motorcycle, and he's out tooling around Germany, and some dude just rips past him on the Autobahn, and he pulls into the gas station. It's this old guy, and Bob goes up looking at his bike, and it's like, is that a turbocharger on your bike? This is like the early 70s. And the German guy says, yes, young man, it has a turbocharger. And Bob says, well, how much horsepower does that bike have? He says, well, probably 200 to the tire. And Bob's like, what, 200 to the tire? He's like, isn't that too much horse? Bob is saying to this old German guy, isn't that too much horsepower? And the old guy looks at him and says, young man, there's no such thing as too much horsepower. Bob told me that story like 30 years ago. I was visiting him up in Detroit. And I think to some degree that's true. But
that's a good
you want to have it balanced,
story.
you want to have it safe,
As long as you're not there for the end.
As long as you're not in the ditch.
As long as you're not there for the accident.
Right.
The thing about motorcycles is the consequences are so grave.
Well, sure, yeah. I've had a few. I busted up my knee and spent a week in the hospital when I was in high school, and I guess now the term they use, and it's to some degree true, donor cycle. So yeah. My boys all like to ride. We ride KTM. We ride dirt bikes up in Colorado in the summertime. But I'm like, on the road, you got to be careful, because even back in the day, if you're riding, they're distracted drivers now. Everybody's on their fucking phone. Nobody's paying attention to shit.
So bad.
So
there's so many people that are just addicted to their phones, and they can't put them down while they're driving. It's so wild to see.
Yeah, every now and then I take a car service to the airport or something. And if you're not driving, you can just look out the window. Just next time you do that, just look out the window. More than half the people are fucking not even looking at the road. They're on their phone.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be driving, or they're putting on their makeup.
One of the things I love about Apple CarPlay is you don't have to take your hands off of anything.
Absolutely.
You just say, hey, Siri, play.
Yeah.
It'll play a song for you.
Yep.
That is the wild, I do that shit with my daughter because my daughter's into Taylor Swift, and I don't have any Taylor Swift on my phone.
Yeah.
But I could just, while we're in the car, you want to listen to something? And she brings up a song. So I just say, hey, Siri, play. And then, bam, like that, it's playing it.
CarPlay works really well.
It's incredible. The text, it reads your texts.
Yeah.
It sends text for you.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
Did you ever put CarPlay in any of your old cars? They have retrofit kits now for that kind of stuff.
I have. But honestly, when I'm driving those old cars, I don't like to. Sometimes I don't even like to listen to music.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I really
way.
just want to hear that engine.
Sure.
You know, I'll listen to the music sometimes, but it always gets annoying. I want to hear that engine. I want to hear that.
Sure. Yeah.
You want to fucking feel that V8.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Spin the tires a little bit. Not too much.
Yeah, there's something about cars that I guess it was because when I was a kid, it represented freedom, right? Because you were in high school, if you didn't have a car, you had to ride the bus.
Status.
Yeah, status for
Chicks.
sure. Chicks for sure.
Friends, maybe,
It was really more impressive for guys than it was for girls.
Sure.
The kinds of cars I like, girls are like, this fucking thing stinks.
Yeah.
Smells like gas.
I went to this Jesuit high school up in Kansas City called Rockhurst, and I was a little guy and total nobody. I was on the wrestling team, and I think it was in the 98-pound weight class when I was a freshman. Anyway, I was a total nobody, and then I bought a motorcycle from my dad when I was like a sophomore. And I remember the first time I rolled into school, I was late, and there's this quadrangle where I could pull right up to the door, and there's all these windows that are open, and all these guys rushed to the window to hear what this loud motorcycle was. And all of a sudden I had status. All of a sudden I was not a nobody. I was like, who's the wild man in the little kid in the motorcycle?
That is the thing, right?
Yeah.
If you're a kid showing up at school in a motorcycle, you're a wild man.